Okay, we're going to do this. Welcome, everyone, to ZMAX Dragway, part of the Charlotte Motor Speedway Complex in Concord, North Carolina. We are the SMX Insiders, Jason Wygant and Jason Thomas, your hosts for the press conference as the playoffs for the SuperMotocross World Championship begin for the third year, and again at the same track where it does always open. We'll try to keep the focus on the athletes here, so we'll have a few brief remarks here at the beginning, and we'll first talk to the SMX Next World All-Stars, and we'll explain the format of their races this year. But first, a shout out to a lot of the companies and partners who have helped make so much of this possible, including Monster Energy, Fly Racing, Insta360, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, Progressive Insurance, Oakley, the Army, Alpine Stars, Thor, UFOplast, and of course the athletes and the teams who are participating in the postseason here throughout the month of September. Been a lot of buy-in, as this was a new concept that has definitely come to become part of the fabric of the sport now in year 3. And also thanks to our fans watching on the live stream at home. We have fans here live in attendance today. We will take questions from fans. We'll do that again. If you're going to the race in Las Vegas, come to the Friday Fan Fest. We'll take fan questions on Friday in Las Vegas as well. Next week, there will not be a Friday Fan Fest in St. Louis, but there still will be a live press conference you can watch at home, just like the live stream folks are doing right now. And with that, let's get into the athletes of SMX Next World All-Stars. JT will give you the names, but I'm going to explain the format. New for the World All-Stars this year, 250s are going to race here and next week at St. Louis, and it will be a 2-race championship. And in the spirit of the SMX playoffs, next weekend's race in St. Louis will be a double points, single points here in Charlotte, double points, 2-race SMX Next World All-Stars Championship, something new for 2025. JT, introduce the athletes.
Thank you each. Without further ado, let's get into this, where we'll have one rider representing each OEM. First up will be Enzo Timmerman. Followed by Tiger Wood. Next up is Landon Gibson. Caden Dudney. Wyatt Thurman. And Brennan Harrison. Give them a moment to take a seat. We will start it off with Enzo. Enzo, you've kind of gone back and forth between the SMX Next races, and you've done a couple of Pro Motocross races as well. Coming back to this SMX Next World All-Stars format, what would you say you've learned from the Pro Motocross races you've done that's going to prepare you for tomorrow and the second round?
Yeah, I think it was good for sure going and racing a few Pro Motocross rounds, because it's obviously pretty difficult compared to the amateurs, and I think the format helps a lot because we're running the same format as the pros here in the SMX Next class. So being able to do those pro races, I think it gives you a little bit of a one-up, maybe a little bit more confidence than before.
We'll open it up to the media. Start with the questions.
Mitch with RacerX. We'll stick with Enzo here. Obviously, you raced this last year. You're going to race these 2 events this year. How much experience, or how much does help getting experience in the SMX Next format? You know, before you even turn pro, you're going to have 3 SMX Next hybrid races. So how big are these events for you now as you finish out your amateur career, but also looking forward to when you turn pro as well?
Yeah, for sure. I think the experience you get from this program is huge. You know, if you've seen the last couple riders that have came through it, right when they go into the pros, they adapt pretty quick and they're pretty successful. So I think it helps a lot being able to race this program.
Hey, Michael Antonovich with Coursehead, and this will be for Caden Dudney. So you've been part of the STAR facility for a while. You're riding with the 250 and the 450 guys. So as much as we talk about the importance of these SMX races for you guys in the future, how much are you taking from your teammates to get intel on how different these tracks are, how the bike setups are, what to expect for that?
Yeah, no, it's definitely good to be training with those guys, and you can learn a lot from them. We just had Tomac out there last week, and just watching him ride and just how he float around the track and just the lines he picked, it was just crazy. You can learn a lot from those guys, and I've definitely taken advantage of it.
Jeff Bieber with Whiskey Throttle. This is for Landon Gibson. So you just did a couple of Pro Motocross races, and now you're going back into SMX Next. Mentally, how much of a difference is there preparing for a pro race and coming into an SMX Next or the championship rounds?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's just different, like just a different environment being around all the pro guys versus, going back to the SMX Next. I would say that I didn't really have much of a change going into the pro versus like going into SMX. I would say I just kind of like wanted to just see where I stood and just kind of do my best. So yeah.
Scott, you're Moto now. Enzo, do you know what your plans are for next year? Have you talked about turning pro? Or are you going to be racing SMX Next again?
As of right now, I'm not completely sure about that. I think I'm planning on staying with Cowie if possible. I'm not sure how much room there is on the PC team. So could be SMX Next, could be pro. I just don't know yet.
Matt Burkeen with Burkeen Media. This is for Wyatt Thurman. Wyatt, coming into this thing, being one of the youngest, if not the youngest kid in the class, what does that do for your mindset coming into this thing? Does it allow you to come in here a little bit more pressure-free and kind of just learn, or are you still coming into this thing looking for a win or a podium?
I mean, you always come into these looking for a win, but I'm one of the youngest. I'm only 15, and it's cool to race with some of the kids that I've watched off the fence line. I mean, everyone's a little bit older, so I've always kind of watched the classes above me, and so racing with them's cool. It's a good experience. I did this race last year on a Super Mini, so I have a little bit of experience, but just going to go out and try and do the best I can, and we'll see where I fall in.
It's Mike Visor with Insta360. Kind of a question for everybody here. Obviously, all of you raced Loretta's. Is it more pressure coming into this, or did you feel more pressure, I guess, at Loretta's?
I felt like, because I raced Glendale, and I mean, that was, when I was sitting on the line, there was definitely a lot of people when I was looking around, and it made Loretta's feel like a small race for me almost. Like, I did pretty good. I got 2 wins in the B class, and yeah, I mean, it didn't feel like nothing crazy. It kind of just felt like another race for me.
We'll just keep going down. Go ahead, Tiger.
Yeah, I think it's the same sort of thing, right? It's just another race for us. Yeah, we're all trying to go out and do the best we can, and I think, I mean, when I put the helmet on, nothing else really matters too much. Just going out there and doing what I can do.
I think it's similar pressure for both because, I mean, they're both big races. They're important. So there's pressure for both. I think this one might be a little bit more just because of the crowd it brings and how much more people are watching you and all the teams being here too.
Yeah, I would say it's just a different experience, a different feel being in a stadium, being around a bunch of fans and a bunch of people. I would say it's more nerve-wracking, I guess you could say, than Loretta's, but yeah, so.
I wouldn't say it's like a nervous thing. Like, it's kind of the same for me. It's just a race. Like, just go out there and do your best. You in the track. So it definitely is like a different feel in the stadium, but I feel like it's kind of the same.
Yeah, I feel like they're both really important, and there's a lot of people around, and everyone's fighting for wins. So I feel like it's some good racing, and yeah, it should be good.
Just to add to that, Brennan, don't have a lot of experience on this stage yet. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of learning tomorrow. But when you think about what a success would look like, what does that look like? You leave here tomorrow evening, and you had a successful weekend. What do you picture in your mind?
Yeah, definitely a learning curve for me coming through the amateurs, not just racing the Moto Combines. Yeah, tomorrow just going to learn a lot, and yeah, just learning would be like a really good thing for me.
I got a question for Landon Gibson here. So this is actually a 2-race series. Almost everything else we've seen all year, SMX Next and Supercross, is individual races, and the one race at the end is the national title. The Scouting Moto Combines are individual races, Loretta's, all the big amateur races. Does it change at all knowing that this week and next week count together for a series?
No, I wouldn't say it changes at all. I would say just taking it race by race is the best way to do it. And yeah, that's my plan.
Moto now. Tiger, we've seen you kind of jump around a little bit in your career thus far, obviously starting in Australia. You raced in Canada for a season. Now you're here in the States. Is the U.S. kind of your long-term end goal? Is this something you've solidified for next year and your future?
Yeah, definitely. America's definitely the goal. I kind of used Canada as kind of like a stepping stone for here, and yeah, definitely racing back home when I was younger. But yeah, America's definitely the goal.
Tiger, your Phoenix Racing team is a North Carolina-based team. Have you been in this area or is it just a coincidence and you're working somewhere else?
No, yeah, I've been in Florida for the whole of training for it. It's kind of cool. I spoke with the team, and they all just drove from their houses and that this morning, but I obviously flew, so it was cool to talk to the team, and they're all being so close. But yeah, no, I've just flown in from Florida.
Mitch again from Racer X. We'll go to Wyatt Thurman on this one. It's obviously racing the B class. You didn't race some of these guys this year, but watching them in the pro sport class and then racing them in the combines, is there things you learned from them just watching them being at the same track as them, even if you're not in the race with them?
Yeah, it really shows you how much a start matters, and they have some different speed compared to some of the kids in the B class, and so and they're longer motos too, so I feel like it just makes me a better rider, like all around, just with faster kids, longer motos. Really shows you how much a start matters, and yeah.
All right, that's our press session for SMX Next World All-Stars. Round of applause. Thanks to these young men. You guys can head on over. You can go to that side. Thank you very much. So that's SMX Next World All-Stars. Remember, that is an actual two-race championship now. Big respect to the 65s and Super Minis that we had the last couple of years, but it will be 250 World All-Stars only in 2025. Now we're going to transition to the 250 SMX group. We're going to break them into two groups. I'll introduce the first group of riders right now. Let's bring them on up. Tom Vial, who is a two-time Supercross champion, and Seth Hamaker will be next. Levi Kitchen. Julian Beaumer. Maximus Voland. Jordan Smith. Austin Forkner. And Ryder DiFrancesco. All right, I'll get this started, and we'll open up to the media. I'll go to you first, Tom Vial. I feel like you were really good when this format debuted in 2023. You were a front runner. I think most people think when you come over from MXGP, every track is a deep sand track or a track in the hills. But you do have experience on these types of tracks as well. Do you feel like the SMX playoff tracks actually work for you? Besides the backdrop, does everything else work pretty well for you?
Yeah, I always like those type of track. I feel like it's a good mix between Supercross and Motocross. Been walking a little bit the track earlier, and it's a lot going on. A lot of jump, a lot of turn. But yeah, we used to, when we race MXGP, when we go overseas, they build the track only for the race for the weekend, so we kind of a little bit use, and I always liked a lot. So hopefully we can, we finished second last year, so hopefully we can get better this year.
All right, we'll open it up to the press.
Mitch Kendros, Racer X. We'll go to Levi Kitchen with this one. I feel like, you mentioned last race how big of a mental struggle your injury was at Daytona. Obviously, like, you like to have fun. Everybody wants to have fun out there, but you're doing wheelies and stoppies, and you got the hairstyles for the kids. I guess how much of a factor is keeping it fun when you've had such a tough year like you've had this year? Like, obviously last year you ended Pro Motocross with a bunch of wins, and that was great. This year it's a little bit different. How much of a factor is it keeping it fun when you're having a year that's maybe a little tougher than last year?
Yeah, it's super important for sure. And that's all just during the week, riding with Ken and all the guys and Joe, just trying to have a good time. So I'm probably the most motivated I've been for these last three. Normally I think a lot of us are kind of a little bit over it by now, but for me it's been a bit of a tougher year. So yeah, that's my motivation, is just to try to end it off on a good note and go into off season with some momentum.
Cinema J here from Trackside YouTube page. This one's for Max Voland. This will be your first time on the handbrake on SuperMotocross with the hybrid. How confident are you on that setup on a track like this?
Doing a whole year of Supercross and now outdoors, I've gotten both elements of the handbrake and have to see where the weaknesses are of it. So, yeah, I feel like the little bit more indoorsy and kind of more Supercross stylish is a little bit better for the handbrake. I feel like the outdoors, it was a little bit tougher to stop as good as I wanted to, I could say. And here I got a little bit of hybrid, but close to home here for a club at least, and the dirt's very similar to what we ride pretty much every day. So I'll be very comfortable on this track and this dirt, and I enjoyed SMX the first year I did it in 23, so I'm looking forward to it.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports. For Jordan and for Austin, same question for both of you guys, and then a different one for Austin. Can you talk about the improvement that Triumph has made and how important it is now with the reset to continue that momentum upwards? And then for Austin, how great is it not to have to worry about the LCQs? Jordan?
Yeah, we've been working really hard all year, especially Austin and I. A lot of the time it's just been us two riding. So we've been working, trying to get everything, where we want it, where we feel better. It doesn't really matter what bike you're on. You're always continuing to try to build a better setup and everything. So they've done a really good job of kind of catering to us and kind of whatever direction we want to go. So I think we made a lot of improvements the last half of outdoors, and we showed that we were getting better starts and stuff. So hopefully we can kind of those things will adapt straight to these tracks.
Yeah, like Jordan was saying, we have been making progress throughout the year, and we started to learn more about the bike in outdoors, so we kind of took that and we applied it to the Supercross or SuperMotocross, hybrid track that we have at our place. So I feel like just in the past 2 weeks, the break, we have kind of been testing a lot in the past couple weeks, and I feel like we have finally made some improvements and got one of the issues that we were running into in Supercross and kind of in outdoors as well kind of worked out of the bike. So I feel like I'm excited to get on the track and just to see how the changes that we made apply to the racetrack. And then for not having to do the LCQ or whatever, that was stressful whenever I had to do that a couple of years ago. So to know that I'm already in the night show is nice. So yeah, that was I don't want to have to do that again. So nice to be healthy all year and be here. So
Scott Yarjo, Moto Now. Tom, we saw you not race the last moto at Budds Creek due to an ongoing bike issue that you've been experiencing. Is that something that has been fixed? Is it also showing up when you've been testing for SMX in these smaller 20-minute formats?
Yeah, I've been trying a lot of stuff the last 2 weeks, and I went back to my Supercross setup. So it's, the base, I start with the Supercross base with a different shock, and obviously the setting inside are a lot different. So we try to work on that base, and hopefully should be good tomorrow.
Michael Antonovich with Course Heading. This will be for Rider D. Knowing the year that you've had, the time that was missed, but coming back into this, what's it like to have an incentive this late in the year? Know that there's, through the reset and everything else, something to fight for and then something to build into for 26.
Yeah, I feel like it's a whole new series for me. Kind of a reset. The last 2 weeks on Supercross have been great. The first 2 rounds for me went great this year until I got hurt. So I'm looking to, bounce back and look at this as a fresh series and, end these last 3 off as I should.
Trey Steyer, Trans World Motocross. My question is for Seth. Obviously, you've had some injuries in the past that have messed with your trajectory, but this year, staying healthy, contending for the Supercross title, how much confidence does that give you going into these playoffs? And not just that, but also having Mitch and the entire Pro Circuit team continuing to back you and support you?
Yeah, it's been a great year so far. Just to be healthy and to be at all the rounds has been one of the main goals this season, and so far we've been able to do that. And the team's been really supportive. They're always helping all of us just get the bike comfortable for each and every one of us. Supercross was awesome. Came close to the title, and I think that should help me here in these last 3 playoff races to have that experience and just be have that confidence and knowing kind of what it's like to go through maybe a pressure situation like that again. So hopefully we can put ourselves in that position heading into Vegas. But right now, just focus on this weekend, being the best I can every time I hit the track and execute good starts and put myself in a good position to set myself up for success.
I think we're going to take, do we have a fan question? Okay, ready? Oh, we're going to go for it. All right, we have a fan question here. Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Elena. This question's for Levi Kitchen. What's going to be the most challenging part of the track?
Funny story, I actually didn't get to walk it because I had flip-flops on, so they wouldn't let me on. I would think the back rhythm section, that's the only part that has kind of the Supercross style. So hopefully that, and then maybe the start with the back-to-back start, I think.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
That's cool. Michael?
Michael Lindsay from Vial. This is for Tom Vial. Tom, I know your future is one of those subjects that we still can't fully talk about, but one aspect of it does seem to become more clear that you will be departing the U.S. potentially for a couple years. So with 3 more races left to go here, are you riding the emotions of kind of a chapter closing, or just, I mean, if you are going back, you've done this before, are you kind of riding the emotion of, hey, I'll come back one day and show people what I can do?
Yeah, this is going to be my last 3 races in the 250 class, so I'm really looking forward to end up that. It's a short championship, but I really want to make it as good as I can. Yeah, it's pretty excited. Before moving up to the 450 class, anyway, I can't really ride in 250 either way in Europe or here, so yeah, I'm really looking forward. It's been a long run since my first pro year was in 2019. And winning two titles in Europe and 2 here in Supercross it's been a pretty good run, I would say. And I really want to end up in a good way before moving up to the 450 class.
In coming here, I imagine you wanted the success as early as you have found it with championships, but did you honestly surprise yourself at all? Did you think your 250 career even here would last a little longer?
I mean, yes. Obviously, when I came here, I didn't expect to win 2 titles in only 3 years. That was the goal, to win at least one day. That's why I came here, to win a Supercross race or championships, and I did it 2 times in only 3 years. So I had to move to the 450 class. So that's why I'm gonna enjoy the last 3 races on the 250. I little bit disappointed with the outdoor, to be honest. The last 2 seasons I ended up second in the championship last year, but I couldn't really make it to fight for the title in the outdoor. So that's the only regret a little bit. But we're gonna try to end up in a good way those 3 races.
Jeff Bieber with Whiskey Throttle. This question is for Austin Forkner. I kind of want to play off what Anton asked Ryder. With coming back from injuries and having the consistency of getting all the gate drops from Supercross and Motocross, this is one of the first times coming back to where you have these extra 3 races with SMX. How does that play into setting you up for 2026?
Well, I mean, I already made the full season, like the full, I guess, regular season with Supercross and Motocross, so I'm taking that as a win for sure. But I did feel like I started to fall off towards the end of the outdoor season a little bit, and I think that I kind of just shifted. Like, I was so close that it was like, a couple more motos, just ride it out sort of a thing. So I want to, because I was making progress before that, so I want to try to get back to that, to that top 10, top 5 if I have a good start and put together a good ride, sort of. That's where I feel like I should fit in right now. So I want to kind of get back to there and kind of just try to treat it like these last couple of races didn't really happen, because I had good momentum and we were building kind of up until that point. So I kind of want to try to get myself back to there, and that would be a good way to end the season, I feel.
Juju, can we get a wellness check from you? You gave us a little scare there at Budds Creek, but on a serious note, this was a great racetrack for you last year. I felt like you really took a step, and then you kind of followed through on that in 2025 in January. When you come back here, do you get those good vibes? Like, you remember how you felt here, and does that carry into this weekend?
Yeah, 100%. I think I had good vibes here last year. Obviously, I had the crash at Budds Creek. But I had a good week of therapy last week, and then a good week of riding this week. So I'm ready to go, and I'm all in.
I think we got time for one more. Mitch, if you want to go. Oh, Michael.
Yeah, this will be for Seth. I see a little bit of a swelbo on you right there. And with all respect to, when you guys crash and you have to get back up in the heat of the moment in a race day, in a moto, or even a practice day, how do you guys reset so fast, stay focused, keep your heart rate down, and then regroup, especially as these points escalate? You know that is so critical through the next 3 weekends.
Yeah, for sure. My elbow, I crashed at Hangtown and got like a brush burn and then cut it open, had to get stitches, and then ever since then I ripped it open at like 3 other outdoor races. Every time it would get healed, and then I ripped it open. We rode Saturday and just crashed in a corner, ripped it open. So that's pretty much that. But yeah, I mean, there's, you always got to get back up and just kind of set your sights on the next thing you can control whenever mistakes happen and stuff like that. So, yeah, a lot of stuff that goes on for each and every one of us up here. So, got to put it behind you. Don't let that mistake carry into anymore, and just keep carrying on.
I think that's going to do it for our 250 panel, and we'll bring our top three. You guys can exit to the right. So we're going to bring our group up from the left. Just a couple of the contenders there. Our next group will be the top three in seeding coming into the playoffs. JT?
Thank you, Weege. First up will be our reigning 250 SMX champion two-time and our number one seed in 2025. That's Hayden Deegan. He will be followed by number 30 on the Honda HRC, Joe Shimoda. And our third seed, Garrett Marchbanks. Hayden, you've had a lot of success throughout your 250 career, kind of followed through on that. What would it mean to get a third 250 SMX World Championship and kind of close that door? Because next year, hopefully, you'll be on a 450.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool. You know, just some more money and another 250 championship.
We'll open it up to the media.
All right, hey, Hayden, this will be for you. We talk so much about how motivated you are each weekend on this goal of a race win, a moto win, the overall, the title as a whole. But when you go kick back on an off weekend and you're chilling in Miami, how much are you thinking about this? Is it completely out of mind, or is it always kind of fueling you along?
No, I wish I was still in Miami right now, to be honest. But, I mean, I got to come back and race and lock in and win some more races, so we're back.
But do you think about it? Like, are you able to completely disconnect, or is it still, I'm still a dirt bike racer, I still have to be a dirt bike racer?
Well, I mean, I'm a little bit smart, but I don't really think about dirt bikes when I'm not riding my dirt bike. It's actually kind of nice. It's a little mentally draining sometimes, so when I can get away, it's nice. And when I'm back on the dirt bike, then that's when we lock in.
Mitch Kendros, Racer X. We'll go to Joe Shimoda with this one. You won the first event here in 2023, I believe. So you've had some success in the format, obviously coming off a strong end of the Pro Motocross season. For you, I guess, you know, obviously Hayden's riding really well, but do you feel like you can replicate that 2023 performance here? Like you're going to come out swinging, you feel like you can do well, you're firing on all cylinders, right? So you're ready to come out swinging?
Yeah, we'll try our best. But I would say I'm feeling a lot better than last year. Last year I came out of a collarbone injury, only rode once right before it, or maybe twice. But this time I'm healthy, so it's way more relaxed going into it. So I'm excited.
Matt Burkeen Media. This one's for Garrett. You're always known for being a hard charger. You do a lot of damage late in the motos, but compared to Pro Motocross, we got 10 minutes left in the motos here. So is that something you're concerned with? And if it is, have you done anything on the bike to try to change that, or anything with technique to just try to make sure you don't have to deal with charger from the back?
I mean, there's not much to do, the change in Supercross, but besides get a better start. So, you know, we've been working on a lot of starts just like we have all year. So hopefully we just fix that. Obviously the last round at Bud's, we found something towards the end of the day, especially the last moto. I had my best start all year, so that was nice. But no, just get better starts. That's about it for me.
I'm going to follow up on that, Garrett. You kind of took a chance on yourself. You had a one-year deal this year to really prove yourself, and you've done that with the number 3 seed, a bunch of podiums. Can you reflect on that right now, or you have to focus on the race? Or can you say, okay, I did it, I bet on myself, and it worked?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, during the beginning of the year, definitely wasn't working. I was pretty stressed out to where I was like, well, not going to have a job how I'm riding right now, but we turned it around, put my head down, started working with Brock, figured it out, had my career best in outdoors with 3rd overall, which was awesome. Still wanted more, though. But no, the goal is just focus now and do our best to be up front and winning races here in the SMX.
A question for Joe and Hayden. Throughout your career, especially this year, you battled a lot, but the tone has been very respectful between the both of you along the way. It seemed like that took a turn at Budds Creek. Some phrasings that we're not going to repeat here, but just seems like there is more animosity or more competitiveness between you two. Is that something you guys both noticed, or are we just imagining things?
It's just all trolls, bro. It's all trolls. We're just joking.
Yeah, of course we have some beef. I don't know. But I mean, it's a new series again. I don't know. Just depends on what he do and what I do, and if that makes any difference, you know. Yeah, sometimes it could go wrong way, but I mean, I'll try to race clean as possible.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports. Back to Garrett. What were your realistic expectations at the beginning of the season? Then you said you had a little bit of a slump. At what point did the top three really, you felt the top three seeding was really in your grasp?
I don't know. I feel like going into Anaheim, I for sure was going to be top three, and just how my speed and my starts were starting off at the beginning of the year, I definitely noticed I was a bit off. So just had to take it one step at a time to figure some things out. Started working with Tickle after, I think it was Indy, and really started to figure it out. But I really didn't know until I went to Seattle and got my second place there. So once I did that, I knew I was able to be a consistent podium guy, and especially going outdoors. I had a really good boot camp through the outdoor prep of it, so I was feeling really good all year for that.
Trey Steyer, Trans World Motocross. My question is also for Garrett. You wrapped up your career number last time out at Budds Creek. How much does that mean to you to be able to join an elite list of riders, to have that career number, and also to kind of build your brand and identity when there are so many iconic numbers out there on the track?
Yeah, I mean, I've been super close some years to getting it. It's always been outdoors that's kind of hurt me on not getting one. But, yeah, no, for sure. It's super cool to get one, though. Yeah, I'm not sure what number I'm going to do, though, but we'll see after the year.
Question for Joe. Your starts have really come around this year, and it's been consistently, not just the random hole shots. What do you attribute that to? Is that a technique thing? Is that improvements working with the team? Just how did that come about?
I mean, it's a little bit of both, right? But mostly this time, team did some kind of thing on the bike where it fits my style better. And yeah, I think it was after South Week we made a change over in Florida. We did some testing. And yeah, since then, it's making my race a lot easier. And I enjoy not eating a roost.
We got a fan question here. Go ahead.
Is it ready? This question's for Deegan. I was just wondering, like, who do you look up to the most, and what inspires you to keep coming back?
I mean, obviously, since I was a kid, I mean, I looked up to my dad because he's kind of changed the way of freestyle and done some pretty big stuff. And I don't know, I'm trying to build my own path right now and be my, own person. And a lot of people don't like it, so it's just the way it's going to be. But right now, I mean, I look up to some guys that race. I mean, the OGs. I mean, we got Ricky. See him road biking down the road when I pull up on my way back from Chick-fil-A. But yeah, anyways, I mean, I look up to people like outside of racing, like your Tom Brady's, guys that are just like know how it is to have people that don't like you and people that do like you, and the pressure of the atmosphere around you, and that's really what I look up to.
I'm going to ask one of you, Garrett, and we'll get the microphone over there. Your first year, you were on the 450 in the playoffs the first year, and it was actually very good for you. So how do you feel about these types of tracks? Does it work for you?
I've definitely enjoyed them. I like the high-speed style of stuff. Definitely just, I don't know, it's different, obviously, from a 450 to 250. 450, you can do a lot more of the bigger rhythms. But when we looked at track walk today, everything looks pretty basic that the 250s are going to do. So, yeah, I don't know. I enjoy it and looking forward to it.
Cinema J from Trackside YouTube page. Hayden Deegan, do we have humble Deegan, or do we have like how much did I beat him by Deegan today?
It just depends when I get on the line what I'm feeling. If someone wants to get lippy, if someone wants to, bring a battle today, then we'll turn up. But if I don't need to, I'm not gonna.
I think we got time for one more if the media has anything for this 250 top 3 in seating. Then I will ask one more question. Hayden, how hard is it to keep the eye on the prize? 450's on the horizon. You've already accomplished a ton. At any point, have you said, oh, man, my mind's starting to wander here. The motivation's starting to wander. Does that happen?
I mean, it's going to happen, yeah. It's a gnarly sport, one, and you can see the distractions from the outside, what they can do. So it's really, I mean, it is hard to stay locked in. I'm going to say it, and I've done a pretty good job at it. I really have, winning 4 250 titles in a row and having a lot of outside distractions that could wander me from that, and I've stayed pretty aligned. I have good people around me that keep me aligned too. My dad won't let me get off track, I know that, and my mom. My mom's actually the hardest one on me. She knew to send me stuff during Miami to remind me that I need to be good. So she's always there. I got a super strong base around me. So and then the 450 class coming up, that's really the biggest motivation right now to keep me going and strong and to keep the wheels turning.
That's our 250 top 3, everybody. You guys can exit to the right. You guys can go to the right side. And we're going to transition over to the 450 SMX. We'll have them in 2 groups. Again, we'll hold the top 3 in seating and some of our champions to the end. Let's bring up our first 450 group, including ranked 3rd. Coming in is Malcolm Stewart. Last year's runner-up in the World Championship, Hunter Lawrence. Champion both Monster Energy Supercross and Pro Motocross, Chase Sexton. And the legend champion, indoors out, everything you can name, Eli Tomac. Multi-time champion in 250 Supercross, Justin Barsha. And turning heads, a great rookie 450 campaign in Pro Motocross, RJ Hampshire. And welcome back to racing, the runner-up in the inaugural playoff and World Championship in 2023, Ken Roxson. Great to have this kind of talent back at the races, and we do have 3 others we'll talk to after this. I'm going to go to Malcolm Stewart first. You persevered, man. Look, there were years you didn't even race Pro Motocross. The last couple of years you have. You did all the races this year. You're seeded number 3. I know you got more to accomplish, but is there a little pat on the back already for the season you've had?
Yeah, so far this has been going on my 2nd year in a row. So it's fun. So far I've learned a lot, and I've met a lot of great people. And every time I no matter what you want to do, you want to just continue to keep racing and have fun. So being here at the races in front of you guys is awesome, and I'm actually a little starstruck because every time I come here for the ZMAX Dragways, I'm always watching drag racing. So it's always pretty cool here. A big Antron Brown fan here, so he always does pretty good here.
Cool. That's cool. Questions for the 450 panel from the press?
Cinema J from Trackside is for Eli Tomac. How fired up are you, first off, after that standing ovation? And are you running that scoop tire again?
Heck yeah, I'll be on that scoop tire. I think last year I was like one of the crazy guys, and now it's just kind of become the tire. So last night it looked like we got some rain out here. We walked the track earlier. It's pretty loamy, so that scoop's going to be hooking up.
Scott Yarjo, Moto Now. Chase, the last time we saw you, you had a pretty big crash at Ironman. How's the body feeling? Did you get a lot of time on the bike? And what exactly did you hurt that caused you to miss the last 2?
Yeah, I landed on my shoulder pretty hard, but I'm not sure if it's from when I landed, if it yanked my shoulder, or when I actually crashed. My shoulder was pretty weak honestly, this gets better every week that I ride, but it was pretty banged up. So I just took some time off and was able to kind of get on SMX 2.5 weeks ago. So I've been riding quite a bit, did some testing, and I feel really comfortable actually. So I'm excited for this weekend and the next 2 races, and hopefully we can finish the series this year.
Ken Roxson, there's 2 trains of thought coming into this round. One, riders have a lot of momentum. They've had a ton of gate drops throughout Pro Motocross, and they come in here and it's just another race. or you come in rested, you've been able to be at home training on your program, and you come in here a little bit more rejuvenated than others? Which side of the fence, well, I'm sure the one you hope to be on, but which one of those things benefits you more?
Well, it really depends. Like, for the last couple of years, I came back from an injury, so I've never really had a problem to just jump into a race and kind of have the intensity of the race where, you know, some other rider might struggle to come in and just find their feet. So I feel like I've been pretty comfortable just over the last few years, not racing for quite some time and then coming back. But then I'm also really glad that I did end up racing Unadilla as a gate drop and just kind of shake off the cobwebs and kind of beat your body down a little bit and then go from there. So I recovered well from that, and also it was good for me to register that my ankle was holding up and everything. So I've been doing a lot of riding in the last few weeks and honestly feel really good coming in here. So yeah, I'm hungry and yeah, ready to race.
Jeff Beaver with Whiskey Throttle Media. This is for Malcolm. So I've been thinking about it lately coming into SMX, and I kind of noticed that your fishing reports directly correlate into your results from racing. And I remember before Tampa, you had a great fishing report. So how was the fishing coming into this week?
Well, hopefully we do really good in these last 3 weeks, and I can afford a really, really nice boat. So at the end of the day, you know, we're fishing report's good, but I'll have something to you guys the week after the last round.
Kendra with Racer X. We'll go to Hunter Lawrence with this one. Obviously, a really strong SMX playoffs last year, a strong Pro Motocross season this summer. How excited are you for this new championship and kind of a reset and kind of go after another championship?
Probably a little more excited for the next two. The first one, going from outdoors to this one's kind of like a bit of a lull because normally you're just ready for the season to be over. So you're kind of just going through the motions the week of and you're like, all right, ready to get the season started or the last part of it out of the way. But I know going into the second round of the playoffs and the third round are a little more exciting for myself rather than just the first one.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports for Chase. Can we talk a little bit about the point structure? Is there some strategy that needs to go into these three races? You came in as the number one seed the last 2 years, had such a strong start, but is there a way to manage the playoffs a little bit different than you've done in the past?
I mean, I didn't really have a plan going into them before. I would just, when I have a good result in front of me, I'm going to take it. So it just hasn't worked out at the last race for me yet. So I think for me, I'm just going to come in with the same plan. I've had the luxury of coming in with the number one seed the last 2 years, and this year I don't. So I'm a little bit behind, but I think those double and triple point races, they're so important, and especially the last one. So I need to capitalize on that this year and maximize points.
I've got a question for RJ Hampshire. So a banner summer on the 450, and I know you were actually building back from injury while you were learning the bike. So are you ready for this, or are we back to the learning stage of a 450 on a little different type of track?
Yeah, it's still kind of a question mark. I feel good during the week, but you don't know until you show up here at the racetrack. I mean, I could go out and get my teeth kicked in, or I could battle for a podium. Yeah, I don't know yet. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable on the 450 right now. Like I said during the week, after an awesome summer, I bring some kind of confidence into this, but also it's all new again.
To stay with RJ on that balanced mindset of knowing the pros and cons that go through everything, you were very adamant that you were going to be on a 450 this summer and then into the next transition. When you look, though, back at Tampa with coming into the season with a question mark and everything else that had happened, is this how you thought it was going to play out? Did you have a strategy? I mean, to be where you are right now is huge.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly just got worse as the Supercross season went on. I didn't really know where I would be on the start of outdoors. I knew I would grow. Yeah, that's where I said I would be once the outdoor season started. I'm still kind of in that same mindset. It's, a lot each weekend, but also I feel like I kind of should have been here a while ago. So you got to take that into each weekend. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Like, it's a breath of fresh air. I kind of said that all summer. Again, here this weekend. Try to enjoy it. And yeah, don't push too hard this first round.
Hey, along more RJ Hampshire stuff. You've obviously made a great transition to the 450 class, but you're also likely qualified for this. You could have done it in the 250 class as well, where you could have fought for a championship. Was it ever even a consideration, or is it just like big bike guy now?
Man, you'd have to pay me a lot of money to get back on a 250 right now.
Audience question. Go ahead.
My name's Caleb. I got a question for Justin Barsha. What are your mustache tips?
Yeah, I had the full mustache last night, and the wife just wasn't feeling that, so I just came out of the bathroom with handlebars, and I don't know if she's feeling this anymore, so maybe tomorrow I'll just put in the stash only. We'll see, but yeah, as I get older, the thing seems to grow and grow each day more and more.
Patience, I guess. Hey, Justin Barsha, I know the results, the podiums didn't come as frequently this year as in previous years. It's got to be tough to dig yourself out of that, or do you look at no, we got a whole different thing, so maybe this will be the thing that makes it click?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the results aren't what I wanted this year, but Budds Creek went better. The first moto was a struggle, but second moto had a good start, rode well. That's the best I felt like I rode all year, and had some pace and beginning to see the Lawrence brothers, which was nice because I haven't been able to be in that zone at all this year, so that felt really cool. Went to California, did a little test, feel like I got a good SMX setting, and it does feel like a 3 fresh race as a start. This is kind of my farewell with the Rockstar Factory Gas team, so quite excited about that. Put a good result for them, go out with a bang. And also this feels like a home race for me a bit. I spent a lot of time up here, lived up here with JGR, so a lot of really good memories up here, so I'm looking forward to a good weekend.
Eli Tomac, the amount of championships you have with Supercross and outdoor motocross, do you feel this kind of track really suits your style? Obviously, you missed the first season from injury, but going back to last year, you had some great results.
I do feel like it suits my style, just the way it's so wide open and fast. And I've even had, I feel like, better success in Supercross when it's more of an open floor plan. So this will be a good mix for me. And looking forward to it again. We came in here with a solid base setting last year, and of course built off that, and see how it goes.
And Eli, I want to ask, you came to Florida. You've been here like a week on the East Coast. You did some testing with the team and kind of camped out, from what it sounds like.
Yep, was in Florida Monday and Tuesday, so of course did some testing with the team. And the SMX setting, it's a hard thing to figure out. I'll tell you that. You try to make your Supercross good, and then you go outside in the fast stuff, and the bike gets twitchy and nervous, and then you try to relax the bike for motocross, and then it gets difficult in the rhythm section. So this is just a really tough discipline, no matter what, to set up that really comfy setting.
Mitch again with Racer X. We'll go to Ken Roxson with this one. Obviously, you've had results here. I think it's good. You've had results in this format that you've done well. You've won motos here before. I guess the point structure, like you're sitting outside the top 10, but do you feel like obviously this round's important, but how much ground do you think you can make up in the second and third round with the point system that we have in place?
Yeah, so in the years past, or the first year, 2023, I think I came in around 10th or something like that, but ended up, up until we came to LA, actually fighting for the championship, so you are able to make up quite a bit of points. It has hurt me the last couple of years just because I had to leave Supercross kind of early due to injury and stuff. So there is a little bit of lack of points, but I do believe that you can make up a solid chunk. But then, of course, you have all these guys next to me that are doing really good too. So you got to hope for a bit of a mix-up of the field, throughout the next few rounds. So, but anything's possible.
All right, that's our 450 panel. Thanks, guys. You can exit to the right. And our next group, going to talk some regular season champs here, JT.
We are. Thanks, Weech. First up will be our number 1 seed, and he has that red plate out front on his YZF 450, and it'll be Justin Cooper. Next up is a 2-time reigning SMX champion, also our 2025 Pro Motocross champion, Jet Lawrence. And Cooper Webb, our 2025 Monster Energy Supercross champion. Justin, you've had a great season. Consistency has really paid off for you through Supercross and Pro Motocross. Can you talk to us just about, we'll see what the results bring, but the feeling of coming in here with the red plate for the first time?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a dream come true for me. It's been a long time since I've had red plates on my bike, and they definitely don't come easy. So not going to take it for granted and just going to try to ride pressure free and see where that takes me.
All right, we'll open it up to the media.
Michael Lindsay from Vital MX for Justin Cooper. Justin, red plate, hard-earned, of course, but part of the hard-earned part with that is a lot of your competition in this series have not raced all year. They've had injuries, which brings its own challenges, but they've had time off. You've gone through the ringer with every race. Talking to riders like Marchbanks and Shimoda have told me during outdoors they backed off their programs to, say, 1 day a week of riding. How have you managed yourself to still be fresh for this? Have you just stayed at it, or have you had to taper and back yourself off to get ready for the ramp up into SMX?
Yeah, it's been a long 28 rounds, and there's been highs and lows in the season for me as far as being like physically fit and ready for each race. Your body definitely takes a toll, and yeah, there's just highs and lows. That's the best way to describe it. When you're feeling low, you got to back it off a little bit, and yeah, now that it's cooling down in Florida, it makes it a lot easier. And yeah, that's not as long as motos. The summer was definitely long and hot, so coming into this, it's a little bit more refreshing. And yeah, just gonna get ready to go and 3 more rounds.
Mitch Kendra with Racer X. We'll go to Cooper Webb for this one. We know pressure doesn't impact you like it does for other riders, but you're coming in, I think, 4th in the points. You're coming off a knee injury. You know, you had to ride day yesterday for the track. It's your home race. I feel like there's a lot of eyes on you. I guess, what's your mindset at? I know, again, pressure doesn't impact you, but where are you at mentally heading into this weekend?
Mainly just excited. You know, when you get injured, you miss a lot of time off the bike and stuff. You just want to get back to riding your dirt bike and get back to races, and that's kind of where I'm at. I think it's been 8 weeks since my knee surgery, so just good to be here, see a lot of familiar faces. Obviously, yeah, from as far as prep, I'd love to have more, but we're going to do the best we can with what we got. We're coming in 4, which I think is a really good spot to be in compared to years past, and just kind of taking it as it is, man. Just really enjoy being here in Charlotte, home race, and back racing. You know, just excited and see where we stack up.
Jeff Beaver with Whiskey Throttle. This is for Justin Cooper. Kind of play off what we asked you about the red plate. When you walked in the truck and saw that red background on that big 450, did you have to kind of pinch yourself?
I got a glimpse of it at the shop this week. I try to stay away from it, but yeah, it's cool. It's like I said, it's been a while, and these don't come easy. So just gonna try to enjoy it, and yeah, do the best I can. Obviously, it's nice to come in with the points lead. It is a little points lead, but we'll take it.
Scott Yarjo, Moto Now. Jet, it seems like there's a comparison between guys like Webb or yourself last year who are coming off an injury, feeling extra motivated to finish the year off strong with these three races. In contrast, you know, you just finished the championship where you won outdoors. Your brother Hunter mentioned maybe feeling like just kind of wanting to end the season and get it done with. Like, where are you at mentally right now?
It depends. I feel like my mentality off the bike's different to when I'm on the bike. I kind of say, like, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, you want the season to be end because you're tired and stuff like that. But once you get on the bike, it kind of changes naturally. So we'll see when it gets to tomorrow.
Matt Burkeen with Burkeen Media. This one's for Cooper and Justin. For you, Cooper, I know the #1 seed was a big motivation for you, but you ended up missing a few rounds. And now you're coming in, I believe it was 4, you said. So my question for you is, do you think it's worth it to have missed a few rounds but come in a little bit fresher and have the #4? Or would you have rather had the #1 and come in with a little bit more fatigue? And then on the flip side, for you, Justin, you outlasted everybody. You got the #1 seed, but you've also, you haven't missed any races. You've had no time off. So is the #1 seed and the points that come with it, is that worth it? Or would you rather be coming in a little bit more fresh?
Yeah, he's lucky I got hurt, No, it's an age-old argument. I think for me, my goal was to complete the season, so it's never great when you get injured. With that being said, everyone thinks it's time off when you're injured, but you're sometimes working harder to get back from an injury than you would if you were still racing. Obviously, a long season mentally, I think if you can stay in it, it is hard and whatever. But at the same time, this is what we get paid to do is be here in the 450 class and racing all these rounds. And injuries are part of our sport. So with that being said, I would love to take that one plate or be up a little bit higher. But I think a 4 is a solid spot. I'm sure I'm going to be maybe lacking a little bit of race time or so on and so forth. And in a short series, you need that. But that's where I'm open-minded and I'm excited as can be. Compared to maybe these two guys that have just been grinding out the whole season.
Yeah, I'll definitely take what the position I'm in now. It's been a great season for me, second year on the 450. So, yeah, I think when you get that time off, it's from racing at least, you kind of lose that. You know, you lose that when we're racing each weekend. You know where you stack up, and you get those gate drops, and you have that experience. When you miss some races, you kind of have those, doubts that creep into your mind, and you're just not maybe as fresh when it comes to racing. So, it's been a great season, and I wouldn't change anything. It's going to be a grind for these last three. I'm going to have to give it everything I have, and nothing has came easy for me so far this season. So we're just going to keep the mindset there and see where it takes us.
I think we have a question from the audience here. Oh, Trey, good.
Trey Steyer, Trans World Motocross. My question is for Jet. Obviously, you have a chance to three-peat and add another $1 million to your collection this year. So how are you trying to balance focusing on one race at a time, but also looking at the bigger picture and thinking, hey, I could potentially win 3 of these in a row?
I'm just focused on, like you said, each race at a time. If I'm trying to focus on the end part, I'm not putting the things before it to get there. I need to make sure I execute this race weekend, then next weekend going into Vegas as well. So it's more important if I focus on these first 2 races and obviously the last one as well to give myself the best chance. Because if I'm just focused on that, I don't think I'll do as better. You're just trying to think of the end result without trying to put the pieces together before it.
Don White at Swap Moto Live. Jet, I was walking through the pits this morning and I saw your bike and I'm like, why does he have Pokemon on his shroud? But I talked to Cameron or Christian a little bit, but can you tell us about the whole team's graphics this week?
Yeah, so we did a similar thing last year in Texas, and it was for the Brain Tumor kind of foundation that we're partners with for multiple years now. So it's cool to do that each year. Last year was really fun. We had it on our gear and that stuff as well. I can't remember what one I was. I just remember Hunter's one being Charlie, but it's cool. I think it's cool that we get to be a part of something so sick, and it's cool that we get to be a part of it and help.
Hey, Michael Antonovich, this will be for Cooper and Jet. As we had the SMX All-Star guys up here, you guys both ride with some of them. Coop, you have all the 250 kids riding at Star all the time. And then Jet, you have some guys riding at the Dog Pound with you. But for 2 guys that get to see the next generation already putting some things to mind or technique or whatever, Coop, we know that your strategy in cutting down in corners kind of changed the game. And then Jet, what you've done in the last 5 years, everybody has taken note of. Is there something that these kids are doing that you're like, I see that, I could learn from that? And how do they absorb what you guys give to them?
They're making me lose brain cells, I can tell you that. But no, it is cool to see. Obviously, at Star, we have a big team. That's clearly the case there. But it is cool to see, the different personalities, the different riding styles, the excitement that they bring. They're just getting their career started potentially, right? And they're all in, trying to just make a name for themselves. So I think that's always cool as I'm a little bit older to have that perspective. When they show up each day, it's like their first day of school, and they bring that youth to me, which is cool. And they'll definitely annoy you some days. There's no doubt about that. But I think it's cool to see the progress, and I wish that at my age I had what these guys had, right? To have access to some of the best facilities and tracks and racing these top events in the world is pretty special.
Yeah, similar to what Coop said. It's makes the race day. The practice days fun because they're always high energy. They're blabbing nonsense most of the time, giving you smack. So it's fun. I mean, the crew that we have, it's all good. It's like a small family there. We all give each other smack talk a lot. So some days we want to fight each other, but it just makes our day more enjoyable for me personally. And yeah, it's cool to see the next generation coming up and see how it's going to turn out.
Going to take a fan question here. Go ahead.
This question is for Jet. What is your favorite track to race at?
Favorite track to race at? I would say one of my favorite ones is probably Redbud. I really like Redbud a lot. That or probably Southwick, I would say.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
I have a question for Coop. So, interesting stat. 2025 Monster Energy Supercross champion, but in these SMX World Championship playoffs, you have exactly one podium moto out of 12 tries. So I know you're big on self-analysis. When you look at that, what do you think the reasons are for that, and how do you try to clean that up this year?
I mean, it's statistically speaking, you got to be better. I think, yeah, just as you get more experience, obviously I think Supercross is something that has come a little bit more naturally for me, and I feel like I'm an overall great rider, but I need to be better on the outdoor, more high-speed style tracks, and preparation's always one thing. You know, I think the way I've come in the last few, you kind of miss the mark sometimes on bike setup, or just for me, I'm a very analytical rider where I think about things a lot and maybe overthink this or that, the other. So for me, I think that's the goal for these three, is to come in low stress, have fun, take it for what it is. Everyone's going to struggle with setup, as we know, with these unique tracks, and just put myself in a good position. I'm in a good spot mentally, and I'm excited to be here, and I think that's half the battle sometimes, is wanting to be in that mix. So looking forward to it. A lot of money on the line, as we know, and just gonna send it, I guess.
Gavin Ayala, Transworld Motocross, motocross.com. This one's for you, Coop. Hey, I actually saw you yesterday at Top Gun for the grand opening of Top Gun. It's under new ownership. Can you actually tell us a little bit about that and what that means for the North Carolina moto community?
Yeah, so I purchased a track about 30 minutes away in Iron Station. It's called Top Gun, and it was an opportunity to try to keep the sport that I love growing here in this North Carolina area. It was a great public track, and we're going to try to keep it going and just keep it open for everyone. I think that's when I look back at my situation as a young kid, I didn't really have access to many tracks, and I think that's important for not only growing the youth, but growing the sport of motorcycling as we love. So really looking forward to that. Obviously, racing is the number one priority, but one day racing comes to an end, and that'll be my next kind of adventure. But I got great people in line to keep it going, and really looking forward to it. It's going to hopefully boost this Charlotte area riding in general here in North Carolina, and hopefully bring light to people that have never heard this sport before.
My name is Caleb. I got a question for Coop. What's it like racing with your hometown people watching?
Man, it's going to be awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it. I've the dirt track right over there. Once upon a time, I had a race of my life over there, so I'm hoping we have that good juju this weekend and maybe give it to this guy next to me.
Lurch with Race Day Live. Jet, question. Looking back at 2025, watching the races when you were injured and then lining up for the outdoors, have you seen or felt the competition in the 450 class raise up here in 2025?
Yeah, definitely. Each year, someone might find something. It might work that year, then next year everyone kind of picks up on it and learns and gets better. I think the speed this year is definitely faster. And I've said before, everyone's very, very close now. So it makes it some very exciting racing for sure. But yeah, since I've obviously watched in Supercross and then being in the outdoors, the pace has gone a lot faster. So I'm looking forward to it.
Cinema J here, trackside. This is for Cooper Webb. As an NC native, I could definitely say the Carolina Panthers fit last year was crazy. Are we going to see you and Fly team up and do something cool this year?
We are. I don't know if I'm allowed to say quite yet, but I think I am. We've teamed up with Fly and Damon Bradshaw, the other North Carolina legend, and we got a sweet kit. We partnered on the design. It's one of his kits from 1991 when he won here in Charlotte, I believe. So it's pretty special. We got it cooking up. JT really involved with it, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. It's going to look sweet.
My name is Corbin, and this is for Justin Cooper. How do you get onto a motocross track that you've been riding for a couple years, and then you come to these tracks and they just got made 3 days ago? What is your mindset going into this? How do you learn it like that?
Thankfully, we have so much practice and so much time on the bike that it's really kind of easy for us to adapt to a new track. We kind of are familiar with how fast we need to go for the jumps and just kind of go off feel mostly. It just comes easier over time as we ride more. And the more practice we get, we just all are in tune with, what the track brings.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports, for Cooper and Jet. Is there a little way to bring strategy into these tracks? It's like a dirt track racer, a sprint car racer. You only get such a short period of time to learn the track. but can you identify the Supercross C elements and the Motocross C elements and let them play to your strength? Cooper, first.
I sure hope so. I think in this scenario we actually get more practice, with the Friday stuff, which is a little different than what we're used to. And as far as setup, that's something that I'm sure all of us are, as far as our bikes, we're going to be kind of chasing throughout the whole 3 races. So, no, it doesn't change too much in the sense of I think the strategy here is it's a high speed. You got to send it in some spots for sure. Obviously, I think a start's going to be extremely important, and that's what we're going to be focusing on.
Yeah, I think, like Cooper said, it's more intended on the start. It's a big thing nowadays because everyone's so close in speed. So I think that's the main key of getting a good start. And I feel like you kind of everyone gets a similar flow of the track of realizing, okay, you can do Supercross here. You ride this part more like an outdoor section. So it's kind of not too many secrets out on there. It's just, especially in these conditions, it's more like whoever can just send it more than the other. So we'll see. We'll figure it out once we get out there. You kind of get to learn a lot more once you're on the track.
All right, that is the top 3, our regular season champions. Let's have a round of applause. You guys can go off to the right side. For those watching at home, we'll give you the tune-in information. This is a day race tomorrow. We're on Eastern time, so race day live qualifying coverage. We'll start at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. That's Saturday. We'll have a live pre-race show on Peacock or the SMX Video Pass at 2:30 Eastern, and then racing begins at 3 o'clock. You can again watch everything on Peacock or the SMX Video Pass outside the United States, but also NBC will carry the race live, again starting at 3 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. So tell your friends to tune in for the first round of the playoffs. As for today's schedule, still a lot coming your way.
There is a lot, and we obviously have just wrapped up the press conference here. The pit bike races will be taking off actually right now. They're actually racing right this moment. After that, 1 o'clock p.m. will be SMX Next World All-Stars practice session. 1:15 p.m. we'll start the 250 and 450 practice sessions. 2:15 to 2:30 will be the second round of pit bike races. 2:55 to 3:05 is our second round of SMX Next World All-Stars practice. 3:10 to 4:05 is 250 and 450 sessions. 4:05 is the autograph sessions at each individual team rig. And then at 5 o'clock right here will be the SMX Insiders live podcast mashup show. James Stewart, Ricky Carmichael, Jace McAlpine, Steve Mathis, and the 2 SMX Insiders will be here. So come back here at 5 o'clock. It is audience included, very interactive, and it's going to be a great time.
See you then. Thanks for coming.